What do you do if you can introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I work as an investor, investing in deep tech startups across Europe actually. So primarily our focus is people who are revolutionizing or disrupting a certain sector or segment. We like to help them scale and give them the resources to achieve commercial traction globally. And yeah, that's kind of the space I look into right now.
And with active investing into businesses, what are some of the sectors that you think are growing globally and in India where you're looking to invest in India?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think globally the construction tech space is very upcoming. I think if you look at the Apple Vision Pro as well, that's kind of hitting the consumer market. But there are lots of headsets companies across the world who are allowing construction asset owners to have more visibility of what's happening on their project site. So like project controls, quality checks, gives the asset owners more understanding of where the ROI is and making more of the main contractors accountable for the work they've been given rather than having multiple variations and adding cost to the existing tender. Now the main contractors are going to be more accountable of what work they're delivering. So technology is going to disrupt that space massively, in my opinion. Also, the procurement space in construction is, I think, booming right now, especially on the material side of things, because credit and having a good supply chain is key in like having a successful construction company. So loads of I think tech players will be disrupting that space. There's a company called Build Now in Saudi Arabia actually who are helping build the Neon project. So that's a company to look out for. And to be honest, in India, that market is still very new, very nascent, and just starting to pick up momentum. So I think you'll see much more activity in that space.
Are you bullish on the energy and EV industry specifically? Because there's a lot of investments happening across the globe in that industry. Are you looking to invest in that sector, or how do you see the growth is going to happen in that sector?
So look, I think the EV sector. I mean, in terms of like the automated vehicles, I think that's market is going to get consolidated and saturated because there are big players, out there. Tesla is, there. China is like rapidly growing into that space as well. I think the sector in India, especially, is going to be the battery manufacturing segment for the EV industry. I think that segment has massive potential, and I think there are startups in India who are raising well as well in terms of manufacturing because India has a good labor plus manufacturing capabilities to suffice the demand supply even internationally. So I think that's a good space. But EV automotive sector I think is going to be consolidated very soon.
Let's talk about AI. We've
Yeah,
been talking about AI a
yeah.
lot. So, are you looking at investments in India? How is India slated to grow in the AI sector? And also, what do you see in Europe and US markets?
Yeah, look, I think AI is definitely going to transform businesses. I don't think it's going to replace the human element completely, but it's going to be an upliftment to when internet was launched back in the day. It's going to upskill people, and ultimately, a person needs to use that app or a platform which is AI driven, right? So I think the key to AI is going to be that how companies are able to adopt machine learning, sorry, the machine learning and the LMS into their products, which are user friendly for the users as well. Because Indian market, if you think about it, is the lower to mid level market who are going to be the users of the product. So the AI, whatever features they're developing, needs to uh, take into consideration that person's technical capability. Because not Indian market is like upper middle class are highly educated, so that massive gap is going to be there. So I think that tech development needs to be focused on the user experience and the user friendliness of the products, which AI can facilitate and help grow that industry or the business.
Next question I have leading to this is there's a lot of tensions happening across the world.
Yes.
Middle East on brink of war. There's communal riots happening in Europe.
Yeah.
Neighbors in India are at an unrest, right?
Yes.
Almost all of them. So, last question to you: Why India? Why you looking at India for growth? What do you look at when you think about India for the next 10, 20 years?
Look, I think the wave of digitization in India, which started during the Modi era, I would say, is has been transformational. from UPI to GPay to essentially geo tapping the rural network areas and digitizing that economy. India is just starting that journey of becoming that next, like the next country which is going to be the developed nation, right? And the scope in the Indian segment over here is so massive with new tech. Health tech is booming. There are now everyone has a device, like mobile device. We are all internet savvy people now. So that transformation is just gives an opportunity for businesses to grow and scale at a mass level. Like if you're a successful startup in India, it's a mass game. You can essentially become a unicorn being in India itself. You don't even need to touch the international waters. Like for example, a company like Dream11, simple fantasy league solution has popped in India. They don't even need to touch the other markets, and other players in the other markets like Europe and US. There are no unicorn companies like Dream11 today because the market has betting legal. So I think things in India are going to like transform, and I think the stabilization of governments also having the BJP for so long for continuous tenures and delivering on the mandates they have promised, I think is helps India put in a good steady state to like grow.
So you're bullish on India for the next 20 years.
100%. 100% bullish for India. I think there's going to be a lot of consolidation in the US, UK markets. Obviously, the election in the US is going to be a big one, which like with Trump and Kamala. So that's like let's see how that plays out. I mean, obviously, the Japanese yen has increased its rates as well. So people are now a bit more concerned about their trade kind of like policies because people used to buy cheap yen and like buy dollars. So that policy is going to be changed, and yeah, you're going to see some pivots in strategy.
So let's grow India together. Let's invest in India.
Absolutely,
Thanks for your time.
no worries.